Welcome. My name is Carol Distel, and I'm the Agribusiness Talent Council lead at West Michigan Works. In my role, I introduce students and adults to careers and opportunities in the agribusiness industry. Before we talk about some of those careers and opportunities, I want to talk a little bit about what is agribusiness. So let's take a look. For most people, when they think of agribusiness, they really think of agriculture in that first part of it, of the industry, which is really growing the food or taking care of the animals that lead to the produce and to the products that we get in our supermarket shelves. But really, that is one piece of it, and it's a big piece, but there's so many other areas to it. Agribusiness really encompasses how that product, even before it got to the ground, the jobs that happened before, while it's being planted, while it's being harvested, the production, the moving of those products to a production facility, processing that, moving it on to actually eventually getting to your table. So, and in there, there's so many other particular jobs that are there. So at the end, I'm going to show you a tool that I think you might have some fun with. It will allow you to look at your skills or your interests, and then pick a job based on that is in this industry. So I hope you get excited about it because it is a lot of fun. First of all, before we start diving into some of the jobs, though, and what they are, let's look at this industry in Michigan. So, 1 in 4 Michiganders work in agribusiness. We have over 2,000 food manufacturing and agribusinesses in the state. It is our second largest industry. And in fact, Michigan is the second most diverse state with regards to our agricultural products. We have over 300 agricultural products. The only state that beats us is California. But it seems to be a surprise when I tell people that fact. They're a little surprised that Michigan is number 2. So we have a huge industry here, which means there are a ton of jobs that are in this industry. Here you'll see just a few of those 2,000 of those businesses that are in the state of Michigan. You'll recognize them: Kraft Heinz, Meijer, Domino Foods. I mean, you see all of these every day. So you know that this is popular. And as people, we need to eat. So this is an important industry. This next slide is just a small, very, very small look at what the jobs are. One of the biggest areas of agribusiness is really the production of food, of taking those raw materials, so the wheat, and turning it into bread or donuts or grapes and turning that into juice or whatever that is. That is a huge portion of this industry. So those first jobs that I have up there really are talking about what some of those jobs in that entry level job looks like. So the food, roasting, baking, machine operators that are in that production area. What I've given you is a look at what if you entered that job with no experience, and getting that just on the job, learning it. What would you be paid? Then looking at a couple of years experience, where you would be, and then many years of experience, where you could go. So that is how I am looking at all these jobs. And like I said, there are only a handful based on how many there are in the industry. One of the things here too I want to point out is the growth, because in this industry you have tons of opportunity to grow from an entry level throughout your career. Many times people come into the production area and their next position is being a supervisor. So you've understood that role. Now you're working with people and you're guiding them and teaching them how to do the job. and being their manager, being their supervisor. So you can see what happens in that next step, where you are and what you learn and what you will earn in that particular industry. And then I have some from a sales rep, agricultural equipment operators, vet techs. These are just, like I said, little samples of what there is and what the ranges of what you would be paid. Again, this is an industry that you can start with no experience and work your way up, which is exciting. Many of the jobs are on the job experience. So you can go in, learn the job, and then realize, hey, where do I want to go into this company? Where can I grow? Where are the opportunities? So that's exciting because it gives you the opportunity to really be in charge of your career. With that, within some of the areas of like the food production, which I said is the largest area here in Michigan, just some of the requirements with the job. Some of those jobs will require a background check or a drug screening. And thinking about that, food and safety go hand in hand. So we want to make sure that not only the people who are working on our food are taking all the precautions that they are to make sure our food is safe. It's also getting that food from the farm to the production facility, from the production facility to the restaurants and grocery stores and to our table. We want to make sure that there's a process being followed and that it's keeping that food safe. Other jobs, like I said, may need a certificate or some type of training. And many of these jobs, the companies will provide you with that training or will pay for that training. So there's opportunities, like I said, to grow. The most important thing in this industry is really is the food safety part of it, is really making sure that you understand we want to keep our food safe. But also things like showing up on time, taking care of your role and responsibilities, being focused, being goal oriented, being a team player. You're going to be working with teams. So those skills are skills that you'll be using throughout your career in the agribusiness industry. The other thing that will happen too with regards to if you are on more the production side of it, because we all need to eat. We all want to make sure that there's food on the shelves. We remember when COVID happened and there was, supply chain issues and we weren't getting the food always on our shelf. We expect to go to the grocery store and get the food, what we want off the shelf. So that means that in the production side, it's those businesses are open 24 hours. So there are shift work, and that shift work is paid hourly. So one of those things which is an opportunity, and you can work first shift, you can work second or third shift. Maybe you're more of a night owl, or you'd rather to work late afternoon into the evening, or you prefer working overnight. There are opportunities to work different schedules. One of the things that's an advantage to that is if you work a second or third shift, there's a shift premium. They give you an extra like a bonus in your hourly pay because you're working that second and third shift. So again, lots of opportunities in this industry. Here are some examples of jobs, and this is, like I said, again, a handful because there are so many, but I tried to throw in a few different ones in here. So one of the things people don't think about is an entrepreneur, somebody who is a food entrepreneur who has taken their grandma's cookie recipe and want to take it and mass produce it and put it into the stores. So let's look at Daddy's Dough Cookies. That's one right there. Another small family business that started out was Robinson Popcorn. These families took a recipe, They mass produced it, and they are now in stores around the state of Michigan. So if you wanted to be a food entrepreneur and start your own business, that's an opportunity. Or you can work for an existing business itself. Another one that's very unique is an agricultural drone pilot. Technology is advancing in this industry daily. So years ago, farmers would go from driving acres and acres to all of their crops and trying to figure out, okay, are they being healthy? Are they growing? Are they getting enough water? Now there are drone pilots who can set their drone out, go looking at miles and acres of agricultural crops and making sure that they are growing properly, that they have the correct nutrients, that there's enough water and they're not being overwatered. So that is another job that means you're not growing it, but you're actually helping to grow it in a different way. There's many jobs that are into that, again, are not maybe growing or processing it, but are still part of the industry. So, for example, HR, marketing, IT, finance, accounting. For example, I grew up on a farm, but I did not see myself growing the crops. I wanted to work with people. So how did that work? I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to find this position that married and brought my agricultural background, my interest in this industry, but connecting people to different jobs in it. So looking at your interests, you may not think it could be in agriculture or agribusiness, but there are opportunities. Again, purchasers and buyers. There are people who are out there who are looking for the next product to bring to their grocery stores and to put on their shelves. Quality control, making sure that that quality is consistent throughout. And there's tons more of opportunities. So here's an example. Again, when we get to the fun part at the end, we're going to look at, based on your interests, some of those jobs that are out there for you. As I mentioned as well, there are a number of areas that you can study to be involved in agribusiness. You can go straight with a GED, out of school, on the job training, and you can have a career path within agribusiness. You might say, hey, I want to go 2 years and get a marketing degree and then go into something. Or I plan to go and do a 4-year degree, and I'm going to, have my degree and then look into opportunities. What are opportunities with a 4-year degree in finance in the agribusiness? So there's lots of different opportunities. Logistics, you don't really need, you could have a graduate degree in logistics. You could also get, there's some that even have certificates. But one of those, that's a big area that has come up, especially after COVID, that getting the supply chain, making sure that you're getting all the supplies you need to make that product and then getting it to the grocery stores or wherever it happens to be in the most efficient way. So that is another career opportunity that's there. I took a few pictures that are out here because pictures are always fun. You'll see these 2 women from Kraft Heinz. They do not make the mustard or the ketchup or the relish for Kraft Heinz, but they are recruiters. They are hiring the next people coming into Kraft Heinz and giving them their job opportunities and career pathways to jobs that are in that facility. On the far right, you may say, agribusiness really isn't for me. I don't see myself in this. I want to do something, in sales, but I don't want to be in an office. I want something outside. I'm not really sure what I want, but it's not growing the plants. So I don't want to be outside growing the plants. What could there be? Well, I met these 2 people out in the field. The gentleman on the left is a salesperson for the equipment company. The lady on the right is in marketing. And so they actually go out to the farmers, to different fairs, and bring their equipment and talk to the farmers about their equipment and tools and how it can save them time and efficiency by using their equipment. So it's something very different and unique. It gets people outside. And like I said, it's something you might not have thought about, but again, it's an opportunity in the industry. The middle picture, there's IT is growing every day within this industry. It's thriving, and it's not only the people who are creating the software and creating the tools to make our job easier. It's actually people in the production, food production area who are using technology and using the software to produce the food itself. So there's people on the back end who are creating it and maintaining the software and the equipment. And then there are people who are actually using it every day. So there's so many different opportunities in this industry. In West Michigan, we have, again, I want to throw up some of the different businesses that are literally in our backyard. So Coca-Cola, Tyson, Kellogg's, you have seen all of these. They are looking for jobs, and there's a number of different jobs within each of those businesses. I talked too about, starting people who have started their own businesses. Lively Up Kombucha is a business out of Muskegon. It is a couple who started brewing kombucha at their kitchen table. Their family loved it, their friends loved it, and they started to mass produce this. And now it's being sold in grocery stores. Another one that is out there is Protein Pints. You might not have heard of it, but if you start looking in your grocery store, you'll see this. It is two young men who are still in college. They loved ice cream, but they were also athletes. And so their athletic trainers saying, you can't eat ice cream. You need to have much more protein in your body. So they came up with this. They're like, we love ice cream, but we can't eat it because it's not healthy for us. Could we make an ice cream that does have protein in it? Trial and error. They started working with people and looking, and they have created a protein that's an ice cream that's full of protein, and that is now in your grocery shelf. So if you have a concept of something that's not out there, there's always an opportunity to create something of your own. Right now, what I want to do is show a video, and again, it's a tool to say, hey, think about what you like, what some of your interests are, and maybe a pathway to getting into a career that uses those interests and skills.
The more you learn about life, the more career options you'll discover. You want to choose a career that fits who you are and what you naturally love to do. Maybe you'll find a career in agribusiness. Let's take a look at what that means. The agra refers to agriculture. Here in West Michigan, we're surrounded by farms, processing plants, and related businesses working together to produce food for stores around the country. Schools, grocery stores, restaurants. We're part of a global movement to feed the world in a sustainable way. There are so many agribusiness jobs right here in our region. Some require college degrees to get started, but the vast majority don't. Out of every 10 agribusiness jobs, only 3 need a bachelor's degree. With short-term certification or learning on the job, you can avoid student loans and start earning a living right out of high school. Do you like being outdoors, or are you really into protecting the environment? You could become a conservation specialist. They help farms manage their natural resources. They promote conservation management practices for watersheds and keep rivers and lakes clean. When you want to do something with friends, are you the one always making the plans? Consider being a farm or processing plant supervisor. These leaders have keen business minds and create strategies to help their businesses succeed. Looking for a hands-on job? Heavy equipment operators work on farms, planting, cultivating, and harvesting. Operators haul materials to processing plants. They load, unload, and more. Do you love tech? Always finding a new app to use? Food technologists use a variety of equipment and apps to ensure quality and safety at food manufacturers. They develop new foods and new technologies to improve how food is made. Do you love spending time with animals, making sure they are happy and healthy? If so, being a veterinary technician could be the right role for you, caring for animals and assisting treatment for illness or injury. There's a wide range of meaningful careers in agribusiness. You're never too young to start exploring your options. You can visit farms and businesses right now. Talk to adults who work there, volunteer, or work summer jobs. Every effort you make will reward you. You'll build skills and confidence. You'll learn what fits you and what doesn't, and ultimately build your ideal career. Whatever path you choose, it takes hard work and constantly learning new skills to learn the job of your dreams. Maybe someday you'll work in agribusiness and be on the front lines of feeding the world.
Okay, so now the fun part's going to come, and hopefully I can use my technology because this is something that takes me a little bit. But we're going to go to the website, the Agribusiness Talent Council website, wegrowmi.org. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I am going to go back into this. Okay, so okay, so there we go. So you're going to see this is our homepage. What I want you to do is have some fun and go into the area called Career Exploration. In here, you're going to go to Ag Explorer and click on that. Now, if you're not sure what you're interested in, you can click on All Careers. You can take a look at it and just start scrolling through and looking at every single one that's there. So you can say, oh, okay, let's see, what is an account manager? We'll just take that one. And it will give you what an account manager is, what the job market looks like, if it's really good on that. So that's great. That's excellent. Some of the different businesses that are there, what the salary would be, what your job responsibilities are, what type of courses you might be taking to get that, and what type of additional training you would need. So an associate's or a bachelor's degree. So this is something that you can take a look at and just kind of figure out, that sounds something I'm interested in. So you can do it that way by scrolling into it, or you can take a look at saying, hey, I think I maybe only want to do a 2-year degree, and I want to work mostly outside, and I think I want to do something, I'm not sure which one I want to do. So let's kind of look and see what there is. And then it will give you different jobs for a 2-year degree. And you can look at each one of these. Okay, what is a conservation officer? What do they do? Okay, so again, it'll give you a career, what the sort of overall job description is, the future of it, and again, salary, responsibilities, and it will go on to high school classes, additional training that you need. So it's really a fun way to explore what you may be interested in. I think the coolest thing in this thing too is just even to scroll the titles. Agricultural journalist, never thought of that before. There's an agricultural broadcaster. These are people who love to write and to share stories about specifically in the agricultural industry. A lobbyist, somebody who works for the government but focuses on agribusiness. An agronomist. I never knew what an agronomist is. It's somebody who studies the soil. and gets an understanding of what nutrients are in there and how that soil can be improved so the plants grow better. So again, you can just scroll through all of these, a beekeeper, an aquaculturalist. So all of these are some of the fun things that you can do. A benefits manager. Okay, this is an HR. Does that fit into agribusiness? Absolutely. You know, people who work in businesses, need their benefits. They need health care. That's somebody who's going to be, a benefits manager. So if I think just going through this and looking at it is really important to see. Career counselors, brand manager. You like to be in marketing and you need to be able to improve somebody's brand. What's going on? Making sure that your cookies or your whatever it happens to be, cereal, people want to buy it. So what does that look like? What does that mean? So you can take a look at all of this information and really have some fun with it and be like, hey, this is a really cool tool to use. Feel free to share it with friends, share it with family members. It's a really fun way to sort of see what's out there. Again, you can do it by just scrolling through everything, or you can choose your area of that you want to do. Maybe you say, hey, skills trade, I want to be outside, and all education levels, and it will pull up. What we may not realize is there's jobs that you think, a carpenter, I never thought of that. But yes, there are people who have to construct, construct buildings for the agricultural industry. So feel free, have some fun with that. And feel free also to reach out to me. Again, this is my information. If you have any questions with regards to the industry, into jobs, you want to learn more, please reach out to me. You have my email address. I hope you've learned a few things. Feel free to share this and have a great day.